Hi guys, this is a follow-up to today's e-learning lesson where we talked about how to find the surface area of a 3D shape and how to find the surface area specifically of rectangular prisms and of cylinders. If you've already watched the videos in the Canvas page and you understood it, that's fine. This is just to give you an additional resource. So if you missed the lesson, you know kind of what we talked about today. Okay. So when we think about a surface area is the amount of space or the amount of space that an object that goes around an object. So it's the amount of area around the outside of an object. So if we think about this Monopoly box, it would be thinking about the front and the back of the Monopoly box as one shape, the top and the bottom of the Monopoly box as another shape, and then the side and the other side of the Monopoly box as the other shapes. So if we could find the areas of all three of those different shapes, then what we could do is we could find the total surface area of this prism. So when we think about what this does, some of you may have seen this before. This is a net from sixth grade. And basically what it does is an unfolding of a three-dimensional rectangular prism. And so if we have the net, a lot of us can look pretty easily and say, okay, yep, I know how to find the area of this part. We would take 24 times 12, and we would get 288 inches square. And then maybe we could even look at this part and we could say, oh, it's 2 by 24. So I'm going to say that's 24 inches square. And if I've got one here, I've also got another over here. So 24 inches squared. I'm sorry about that. Okay. And then we could also find the area of shape B. And the trick with shape B is recognizing if this is 2, this has to be 2 because these two sides have to fold up together to meet. Okay, when you're unfolding that object. So when we think about, whoopsies, I'm sorry. Oh goodness, it all went away. Okay, well, moral of the story here is you can find the area of each of these sections using just what you know about length times width. Okay, so if this is 24, this is 24, this is also 288. And then because this is a 2, this is a 2. So this makes 48 and 48. Okay, so to find the total surface area, we would just add all of these sides together. Okay, add them all up and you'd get your answer. Okay, so that's what we're going to try to do today. We're just going to try to do it without having to draw the net. Okay. So if we look at this example here, okay, this is what you'll see on IXL when you're working, okay? And if you want to draw the net for this, you can. This is a standard net. This would work for any rectangular prism. But if I'm honest, the way that I would do this is I would look at this and I would say, okay, I need to cover the 3 different sides. So one side is going to be this side here, which is 9 by 5. So I know one side, I'm going to call that A, is equal to 9 times 5, and that's going to be 45. Okay, and that is one face right there. So that this side here is called a face. So we've got one face is 45. But when you think about what you know about rectangular prisms, there's 2 of them. So I'm going to double that, okay, because there's on the other side of the shape, okay, there would be the same face, okay? So that means I have a total of 90 from side A. Okay, when I have 2 side A's, I'm going to have 90 inches square, okay? Now, if I go through and I find side B, let's say side B is going to be the top here, okay? If I think about what that's going to represent, that's going to be 5 by 7, which is also going to mean it's the bottom down here. Okay, so there's 2 of them. So we can say that's shape B. We can say it's 5 times 7. We know that's equal to 35. But again, there are 2 of them, so we're going to double it, and we're going to get 70. Okay, now these should have labels. All right, I'm just trying to go quickly for you guys so you can keep moving. So these are all in square units. Okay, because we're talking about area. Okay. And then lastly, the last part of the shape sometimes is the trickiest for people to see is that last side that's missing. A trick that I like to use. Right now we've multiplied 9 times 5 and we've multiplied 7 times 5. What we haven't done is we haven't sort of completed that circle and multiplied 9 by 7. I'm not sure what that just did. So what we're going to do there, all right, for shape C is we're going to go 9 times 7, which is equal to 63. But again, there's 2 of them, so we end up there with 126. Okay, so what we'll do then is we'll add up our different totals. So we're going to add up our 90 and our 70 and our 126. Adding those up together, 90 and 70 is 160, plus 126 is going to be 286 inches square. Okay, so that's how you find the surface area of a rectangular prism. You cover all the sides using what you know about rectangles. Okay, so that one's not too hard. Typically, we do okay with that. The struggle for most of us is to be able to find the surface area of a cylinder. Okay, so I want you to watch this quick little animation and see. I'm going to try and see if I can make it work. So what you're doing here, okay, is that cylinder, when you unfold it, you get 2 circles, which are pi r squared, that's the area of a circle. And then the hardest part for most people with understanding this is the distance around the circle, called the circumference, becomes the length of your rectangle. Okay, so a cylinder is essentially made up of 2 circles and a rectangle. The circles are pretty easy to find the area of. The rectangle is a little trickier because you have to find the circumference. Okay, so we're gonna use this formula. So I would encourage you to make sure you have this formula in your notes. We're gonna use it to find the surface area of a cylinder. So to do this, all right, we're gonna simply take a look at what we know right now just by looking at it. So I know from looking at this shape, I'm going to mark down, I know what the radius is. Okay, the radius goes halfway across, and I know the radius is equal to 9. Okay, I also know the height of this shape is equal to 8. Now, height doesn't always mean up and down, okay, but height represents the distance between the 2 circles, okay, on a cylinder. So what we're going to do then is we're just going to substitute in, okay. So SA stands for surface area. Okay, there's a lot of questions about that this morning. So surface area, okay? And we're just going to substitute in. We're going to say, okay, we've got 2 times pi times the radius, which is 9, squared, plus 2 times pi times 9 times 8. Okay? Now, the good news is, at this point, your Desmos calculator could do all of this. You could type it in and you could be done. Okay? I would encourage you to try to simplify it a little bit before you type it in, just in case you make some silly mistakes. Looking at this, what we can do the exponent and get 81. And then we can multiply it by 2. So we can say this is 162 pi plus, and we can multiply these together. That's going to be 72 times 2 is 144 pi. Okay. Now the nice part about doing this is because these both have pi's, they're basically like terms. So you can add 162 and 144 together. So 160 plus 140 would be 300. So we're going to have 306 pi. Now, this is not how you leave your answer. Okay, not how you leave your answer. But this is probably the most precise answer, okay, because you haven't multiplied by pi yet. So at this point, you're just going to take 306 multiplied by pi. If you're on IXL, remember IXL uses 3.14 for pi, not the pi symbol. And because you're going to be multiplying rather big numbers, you want to make sure you're actually using what they ask, or else it's going to count it wrong. When you do the Canvas assignment, you can use the pi button. That's fine, okay? So we're going to take 306 times pi, and we've got 961.33 inches squared. Okay, so what you're doing here is you're just looking at a cylinder and you're following this formula. If you follow this formula, you'll be just fine. Okay, if you don't follow the formula, you're going to have a hard time with this. Okay, when we think about what the formula is showing, okay, this part of the formula represents the 2 circles. Okay, it's 2 pi r squared because the 2 says there's 2 circles. This part here, okay, the other part of the formula right here, this represents the rectangle. Okay, so this is the rectangle. And like I said earlier, that's typically where people get stuck. Okay, so if you are working on this and you're not sure what to do, please make sure you email me and let me know, and we'll set up a Google Meet. If you're feeling good about it, just get it done, no big deal. Your IXL assignment, okay, for today, is to work to a score of 50. Let me see if I can get this. On AA11 in 7th grade, This is the surface area of prisms and cubes. It's this, if you get to 50, it's about 4 or 5 questions correct. It's not very much at all. And then I want you to get to 50 on AA13. That's surface area of a cylinder. So use your formula, okay, 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi rh, okay? And then what I want you to do is I want you to work on the Canvas assignment that's linked in the description for today. That's going to be where I'm checking your grade there, okay, to see what you know and understand. You can retake it as much as you want to, okay? And if you have questions or concerns, please just let me know. So thanks for watching, and I hope you're all doing well and staying safe. If you need anything, please make sure you reach out. Take care.